Hey everybody, and welcome to Worth the Buck, where I'm going to take some of the most popular Dollar Tree items, test them out for you guys, and let you know if they're really worth that dollar. If you want to see what I'm reviewing today, just stay tuned. Alright, so today we're going to be talking about this little palette right here from LA Colors. You guys saw that this week in a haul that I did, and I wanted to hurry up and go ahead and test it out for you to see if it's really worth the money, because I don't want everybody rushing out there to get a brand new product if it's not worth the money. I do have to start off with the packaging as always. Pretty good packaging for just $1, I do have to say. It's nice and tight. Actually, just a little bit challenging to open, so that's a good thing, because if you will remember, the last one that we tested out, the Beauty Benefits, I think is what it was called from Dollar Tree, those did not stay sealed very well, and that always makes me nervous, especially if you're traveling. If you're just going to be home all the time and they're going to sit stationary, that's not necessarily as big of a deal, but if you're going to travel and put these in a travel bag, you want them to stay sealed. So I do have to admit, I love the packaging on that. This is a little 6-color palette, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there were 4 different palettes in the store when we were in there the other day. I didn't even think to take pictures. Sorry about that, so I can't help you with what some of the other colors were. I know we saw a palette that had some blues in there. We saw another palette that was mostly all just neutrals, like this one here has a little bit of the purplish pink colors in it. That other one was straight up neutral. So I do know of these 3 for sure, and it seems like there was one more, but I honestly just cannot remember the color right now. Let's see if this one has the name of the palette on there. I believe that says Full Exposure. I'll have that in the description box for you down below in case you like these colors. But one of the things right off the bat that I'm disappointed with this little palette is that 5 of the 6 colors are a shimmer. If you have a little age on you like I do, we don't need a lot of shimmer above our crease, ladies, especially in the crease, because our skin is starting to sag a little. I know, we hate to admit it. And of course, it's starting to get, even if you don't necessarily see the little wrinkles, all that collagen and elastin and all that that's in our skin is obviously beginning to break down. We're aging. We're getting a little older. Well, those of us that are. For those of you young girls that, you know, you still have nice, tight skin that's all perfectly in place where it's supposed to be, you can get away with that shimmer, but we cannot. So I was a little disappointed in that fact. I'm going to go ahead and show you now me applying these colors. On one side, I used it just straight up with just my eyeshadow primer and a little powder. On the other side, I do have the primer on there with a little bit of powder, but I also went ahead and added that milk pencil from NYX just to see if it would help these colors pop a little bit more. Most of you are very familiar with using a white base to make colors more vibrant, especially if you're using neons or anything like that. So I wanted to compare the difference. I do have to say that at the end of the day, the overall look between both eyes was pretty even. So I don't think the milk pencil actually helped, not like what I thought that it would. So that's a step that you could definitely avoid for sure. Let's talk the powders. Not sure if you can tell too much by watching me apply it right here. They are very powdery. That I do not like. There was an extreme amount of fallout, and as I get to the end here, whenever you see the end of the eye look, you're going to notice all of that powder sitting on the top of my cheekbones. Now, if you're one of those gals that does your eyes first with your foundation last, that's probably not going to be a big issue to you. But for me, it's a huge issue, because after all these years of applying my makeup, I just cannot get in the habit of doing my eyes first. I've tried, don't like it. I am still a foundation first kind of girl. So that posed a little bit of problem because there was some definite cleanup that had to happen. I do not appreciate a very loose powder eyeshadow that causes a lot of fallout, because it is a lot of headache. So that was a definite strike against it as well. Now, I do understand that these little palettes are probably not designed to be just a one look palette where you get everything, because obviously there's no highlighter color in here. I did apply that very light pink right up underneath the brow bone. but not really super happy with it up there. I don't particularly go for a pink up underneath the eyebrow. It gave a pretty decent look. Overall, it's okay, but that definitely would not be a color that I would reach for underneath that brow bone. So you're going to have to use this more than likely in conjunction with either another little palette or at least some individual colors that you can add with it to complete the look that you're going for. So that's something to keep in mind. If you're trying to find a little palette on the go that's going to be a full eye look palette, this is not probably going to be it. And I know that the other palettes that we saw in there definitely were not a full shadow look. Overall though, I think I did build up to a pretty nice look. I think the colors did build upon itself pretty well. I tried to go even deeper with this color that I've put on the outer corner of my eye, and I have to say I was having a real hard time getting it much darker, and that was the darkest color in this palette. So you can imagine if you're trying to go for a real deep dark corner there, a nighttime look, it's really going to take a lot of building, and I'm not so sure that you're not going to get to a point to where it just isn't going to build any darker. So that was a little disappointing. But for a daytime look, a mid-evening, maybe it's not an elegant night out where you want to get full glam, maybe you just want to go out for a night to dinner somewhere, a little date night that you're not looking for an extreme banging eye, then you're probably going to enjoy that. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. Overall, I think it did achieve a very nice look. I definitely had to work and stretch these colors, that's for sure. It wasn't just a quick thing to do. It took a little bit of work. They are very blendable. I did like that. They were easy to blend and easy to mix together with those colors. So that is a huge, huge positive. It's just you had to use a lot more of it because so much of it was falling out. And I'm not real keen on all the shimmers in one palette. I do wish that it would have given us at least one darker color that was a matte, because like I said, for our creases, those of us that are older, we needed a dark shade that was also a matte. So that would be another complaint. Overall though, I think you can achieve the look you're going for because I was able to create a pretty decent look with it. I think it's definitely worth the $1, but I would not pay more than $1 for it. I have to be honest with you, because I can get other eyeshadows like Wet n Wild and e.l.f. for around $3 for a little multicolored palette that doesn't have near the fallout. So if I were to pay more, it definitely would not be for the LA colors. It would be for one of those other brands that's just a little bit better as far as that's concerned. But for just $1, if you're wanting to experiment with some new colors, maybe you're just getting into makeup, or maybe you've always just kind of been a one look kind of gal and you've been afraid to step out there and to play around with colors, then I think for $1 this is going to be a good option for you, because it's going to allow you to play around with a shadow that's very blendable, that is very buildable, and it is soft enough when you first apply it that if it's a color that you're a little skittish of, you can put it on lightly until you get used to it and learn to build it up. So in that case, yeah, I definitely think it's worth $1, but I definitely wouldn't pay more than $1 for it. That is for sure. There are too many other good shadows out there that doesn't have that fallout problem to pay more for that. So look around for them in your Dollar Tree. See if you can find them. I'm not real sure how long they've been out. I'm not real sure exactly how many palettes that there are, and I don't know how long they're still going to be available. So if you're into makeup and you love playing around, it may be worth you checking out. All right, I want to thank you so much for sitting here and going through another Dollar Tree review with me. I want to remind you, you were created for purpose, so go be all you can be. I'll see you soon in the next video.